Good morning and welcome to today's verse. To God be the glory. What a great day it is today. Today's verse, it comes to us from the book of Exodus, Exodus chapter 4, verse 2, and it says this. So the Lord said to him, what is that in your hand? He said, a rod. Here we have the story where God has called Moses to return to Egypt, go before Pharaoh and demand that he let his people go, the children of Israel. But, Moses wants to get out of the assignment. He comes up with all kinds of excuses. Well, they're not going to believe that you sent me. And so to provide proof and evidence that the Lord is with him, that the Lord tells Moses, asks Moses, what is in your hand? He says, a rod, cast it down. So he casts the rod down on the ground. We know that the rod turned into a serpent. He tells him to pick it up again by the tail. It turns back into a rod. So by this, God would do great and miraculous things before Pharaoh and the Egyptians, that they would know, even though they believed in many gods, they would know that the God that Moses served was the Lord, that he is God, the one true and only God. So whatever little we have in our hands, if we turn it over to the Lord, he can do great and mighty things. So for the next few moments or so, I would like for you to kind of take an inventory in your mind of what is it that you have in your hand? What do you have in your hand that if you turn it over to God, that he can do a mighty work with it through you? What is it that you have in your hand that is preventing you from the Lord doing a mighty work with it through you? In ancient times, that when warriors approach one another, they would do so with an open hand to show that they didn't have a weapon and they meant no ill intent. A closed hand is kind of like the universal sign of greed, of selfishness, and of evil intent. When I was in Africa, they would tell the story of how these hunters and wildlife hunters in the Congo, they designed this trap to catch monkeys. And so it would be a wooden box that they drill a hole just big enough for the monkey to slip his hand through. And they would secure some food at the bottom of this box. And so when the monkey comes along, put his hands down in the box to get the food, he could not free himself from the box. Why? Because he wouldn't let go of the food. He wouldn't let go of what was in his hand. So I wonder today, if there's some of us that come here with a closed hand, a closed mind to the possibilities of what God can do with what we have in our hand, that if we turn it over to the Lord, that he could do great and mighty things with it. So the question remains, what are you holding on to? What are you refusing to let go of and turn it over to the Lord? Selah, think about this. To God be the glory for the great things he has done. I pray that you would meditate upon this verse. It would be a word of encouragement to you, a word of inventory, a word of challenge. I pray that you would have a great day. Listen, it's the weekend. As I always say, make sure you get out and do something special for yourself, with your family. Sunday morning is coming. Enter into a place of worship with the saints of God. Depart to serve. Monday morning is coming. God's willing, we'll see you right back here. Yeah. So today's verse. Amen.